You want to try it out. Before we got into this discussion, we were.
I can make my voice climb higher and higher.
The next one, lower and lower.
I can make my voice go lower and lower.
If you ask me, you should practice the Saregama Padans. It will really help. Not only it will vary the pitch, but it will also smoothen the voice. Can we all do it once again?
Yes. We'll go up and then again.
Yeah. Take a deep breath from higher, lower to higher, and once again take a deep breath from higher to lower.
I can make my voice climb higher and higher. I can make my voice go lower and lower.
The main objective is that your voice should sound like music to your own ears. That is something which we can achieve.
We should speak this musically.
Musically, after all music is just notes.
Yes.
7 notes comprise the music. Now we will practice this. The next thing which we are going to do is articulation, clarity, being able to use our speech organs very effectively. Again, there are some exercises for that, which are given to you on page number 12. Correct pronunciation, articulation. Again, these are habits which we built up by pronouncing the words properly. Exercises here are grouped according to the different speech organs. We have speech exercise for the lips, the tongue, and the palate. The way to do it is very simple. We just take a deep breath and then speak the sentence in one breath. If we have taken a deep breath, we'll find ourselves pronouncing each and every word clearly and completely. Mr. Satish Kakri had given you the example of pass the pens and pencils please, which you cannot say without closing your lips. Try it out. Pass the pens and pencils please without touching your lips.
You cannot do that.
You cannot.
Cannot.
Words with the P, with the letter P, they pop off the lips. So you take a deep breath. Pass the pens and pencils please with a deep breath.
Pass the pens and pencils, please.
Once more with a deep breath.
Pass the pens and pencils, please.
Mr. Joshi.
Pass the pens and pencils, please.
Yeah. Packing, pickles, poses problems with a deep breath.
Packing, pickles, poses problems.
Once more with a deep breath.
Packing, pickles, poses problems.
Packing, pickles, poses problems.
Try to accentuate the use of the speech organs.
Okay.
Exaggerate the use, overpronounce.
Overpronounce.
Apparently, the representative is appealing for support with a deep breath.
Apparently, the representative is appealing for support.
Yes, Hitler. Yes, I particularly gave you this sentence because I noticed that you have been reading in this manner.
You have to.
Now here it's difficult. Just adjust the angle of the book. Keep it like this. See, you don't have to cover your face. But if you adjust the angle, you can look at the audience and you can also see what is written on the paper. Now you take a deep breath.
Apparently, the representative is appealing for support.
Apparently, the representative is appealing for support with a deep breath.
Apparently, the representative is appealing for support.
Yeah. Any kind of difficult word, I think you can mark out this sentence for your practice. In the course of this training, whatever you find a little bit difficult or challenging, you just mark that out in your booklet. That is the area of focus. That is the area where improvement is desired and required.
Cindy, you want to try?
Apparently, the representative is appealing for support.
Once again with a deep breath.
Apparently, the representative is appealing for support.
Now the same sentence, if it is spoken little slower, you will be able to pronounce the words more clearly.
Go slow.
Apparently, the representative is appealing for support.
Do you tend to speak fast
Yeah,
sometimes?
he is tending to speak faster, at least today.
Even this habit of speaking fast
Hmm.
is also related to a little short breath. If we are taking adequate breath in between our words and speech, taking deep breaths will also control of the rate of our speech, and then we'll sound more effective.
The apples appear to be dropping haphazardly.
Once again with a deep breath.
The apples appear to be dropping haphazardly.
The apples appear to be dropping haphazardly.
The stupid spider disappeared into the upturned barrel with a deep breath.
The stupid spider disappeared into the upturned barrel.
The perspiring pianist performed perfectly.
The perspiring pianist performed perfectly.
Neeraj?
The perspiring pianist performed perfectly.
The perspiring pianist performed perfectly.
The perspiring pianist performed perfectly.
Same suggestion which I made earlier. Try to keep the chin up a little bit. Okay. See, the chin should be up. The nose should not be in the end.
The perspiring pianist performed perfectly.
I think that was better. Betty baked a better batch of buns with a deep breath.
Betty baked a better batch of buns.
Kiran.
Betty baked a better batch of buns.
Bobby burst the big blue balloon with a deep breath.
Bobby burst a big blue balloon.
Once more with a deep breath.
Bobby burst a big blue balloon.
Please pack and post the parcel.
Please pack and post the parcel.
Once more with a deep breath.
Please pack and post the parcel.
I bought a book about a boy who became a prince with a deep breath.
I bought a book about a boy who became a prince.
I bought a book about a boy who became a prince.
Became a prince.
Became a prince.
The next question is quite interesting. We will emphasize 3 different words. You tell me if the meaning is the same. Why will you worry? Why will you worry? Why will you worry? Same question, 3 different words are emphasized. Is the meaning the same? It's not.
Meaning is same.
Meaning is
Meaning
different.
same.
Yes.
Different.
Anyone else feels the meaning is same? In the first case, why will you worry? What is the meaning?
He is asking somebody.
The reason.
Reason.
He's asking
He's
the
asking
reason
the
why
reason.
you are worried. And if I say, why will you worry?
He is asking about why you worry.
A particular person, correct. A particular person, why he is worried when everyone else is not worried. And if I say, why will you worry?
Do other things.
It means that there is nothing to worry
For
about.
you to worry about. Yeah.
Why will you worry?
What are you worried about?
Emphasis on the keywords
Emphasis on key.
can change the meaning of the same set of words. In this case, the question. Let's try it out if we can do it. First time, emphasize why.
Why will you worry?
Why will you worry?
Why will you worry?
Why will you worry?
Why?
Why will you worry?
Why will you worry?
Why will you worry?
The next sentence. Wendy watched the weasel walking with a deep breath.
Wendy watched the weasel walking.
Where are the watches we wanted?
Where are the watches we wanted?
wild winds and wet weather.
Wild winds and wet weather.
This particular sentence, wild winds and wet weather, how many people took a breath before starting? Not everybody.
Not everybody took.
No,
I
I
understand.
understand. So see, I have been repeating this one thing for the past more than an hour. Take a breath, take a breath. Even then, the moment I said, I did not say anything. Many people started speaking the sentence. Developing this habit of taking a breath before starting a sentence is very important. Walter watches while we were walking.
Walter watches while we were walking.
Once more with a deep breath.
Walter watches while we were walking.
You are a fool to do it.
You are to do it.
You lose too many shoes.
You lose too many shoes.
We choose the removing men.
We choose the removing man.
The beautiful blue balloon.
The beautiful blue balloon.
Do go through and look at Sue.
Do go through and look at Sue.
Exercises for the tongue are to be done in the same way. There are certain words with the letter L, N, D, T, where you curl the tongue. So sometimes incorrect positioning of the tongue results in a different pronunciation. If I take a deep breath, leave the lazy lion alone with a deep breath.
Leave the lazy lion alone.
Once more with a deep breath.
Leave the lazy lion alone.
Sometimes we say lazy, no, we don't say lazy. Okay, again that Z pronunciation is also reduced by the tongue.
It is Z, not G.
Yeah, it is not G. See, in Marathi, you have a J, you have Jh, but you don't have Z.
Z. We want Z.
Z.
Lazy.
In English, there are many words which have the Z pronunciation.
Right.
No doubt, words which begin with the letter Z, like zebra, zinc, zone. But even otherwise, there are many words which have S, but still have the Z pronunciation. For example, VISIT is visit. It's not visit. If you delay longer, we are likely to be late. With a deep breath.
If you
longer, we are likely to be late.
The dull light from the candle burns slowly in the lamp. With a deep breath.
The dull light from the candle burns slowly in the lamp.
Lie on your pillow and swallow the pill.
Lie on your pillow and swallow the pill.
The lorry was filled with bullion valued at 3 million lire.
The lorry was filled with bullion valued at 3 million lire.
Don't touch those taps till I return.
Don't touch those taps till I return.
The butler stopped to eat a toffee.
The
Butler stopped to eat a coffee.
The butler stopped to eat a toffee.
I got wet while I was out. With a deep breath.
I
got wet while I was out.
Let's eat a lot of tomatoes today. With a deep breath.
Let's eat a lot of tomatoes today.
He wrote his diary until dinner was ready. With a deep breath.
He wrote his diary until dinner was ready.
On page 13, we have, he didn't want to admit that the leader was right. With a deep breath.
He didn't want to admit that the leader was right.
It's terribly difficult to enunciate a lot of T's. With a deep breath.
It is terribly difficult to enunciate a lot of P's.
Once more with a deep breath.
It is terribly difficult to enunciate a lot of P's.
You can mark out whatever is a little difficult to pronounce.
How to speak this?
It's terribly difficult to enunciate a lot of T's. Enunciate. Yeah. Enunciate. Sometimes in English there are words which have dual pronunciations, depending upon the accent. Some people say enunciate, some people say enunciate, because the problem in English is not a phonetic language.
Enunciate.
Yeah.
इसलिए हिंदी में लिखा। Sanjay, I have a question. So far we have done two type of exercises. Okay, tongue and lips. Did you have any problem in any of these two?
To speak slowly, that is all.
Okay, that is one. But did you have any problem in this exercises for the tongue?
No, sir.
You are comfortable?
Yes.
With practice, there will be increasing comfort and greater ease in reading out these sentences. That will have a really positive effect in your overall voice and speech. Think about it, when you are reading these sentences, the sentences are already written out, okay? But when you are supposed to speak, the sentences are supposed to be spoken on the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
The thoughts, the ideas, everything should connect together. And it should sound interesting, compelling, appealing. The door down the corridor slammed to with a deep breath.
The door
Door down the corridor
slammed to.
Shall we shut the shop?
Shall we shut the shop?
The shepherd had been shot in the shoulder.
The
The shepherd had been shot on the shoulder.
Quick, catch and kick the ball.
Quick, catch and take the ball.
The choir came caroling at Christmas.
The choir came caroling at Christmas.
He parked his car close to the cliff with a deep breath.
He parked his car close to the cliff.
He grabbed the grapes greedily from Granddad's garden with a deep breath.
He grabbed the grapes greedily from Granddad's garden.
Sanjay.
He grabbed the grapes greedily from Granda's garden.
Okay, once again.
Once, see,
Bring that
anything
slow.
that is a little difficult to pronounce, you go it in take it in slow motion.
Slow, yeah. You speak slow.
Break it according to its syllables,
Right.
and then go take the normal speed.
I think many of us, at least some of us, don't understand this concept. Break into syllables. Can you little bit explain?
See, let's consider the word syllable.
Syllable, okay.
The word syllable itself has 3 syllables.
Okay.
Syllable, syllable,
Mm.
syllable.
Okay.
Now you have to pronounce these 3 sounds
Mhm.
in order to clearly and correctly speak one word.
Mm.
Pronunciation, pronunciation. There are 5 syllables. We had earlier seen 21, 22, 23, whereas it should be 21, 22.
21, 22.
Correct. If we ensure that each and every syllable of each and every word of each and every sentence is clearly and correctly pronounced, the result will be articulation, clarity in speech, ensuring that each and every sentence is heard and understood.
We are used to that 21, 22, right?
We are used to that.
Right. But you are recommending that we must separately enunciate.
That's true. This is particularly true in case in the situation where you find that whenever you say something, people request you to repeat yourself. They say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat yourself? Now that is a situation you have to completely avoid. Whatever you want to convey, the point should be spoken only once. There is a saying in English that golden words are not repeated. Make sure that you have said something, it is heard, understood and appreciated. It will be appreciated only if it is spoken once. Second time may not be that effective. It will not be that effective.
What about speaking on the phone? When you speak on the phone, there is one word always get problematic. T and D.
T and D.
T and D.
Is it a word in English?
Yeah. T. T for Tokyo.
Can you
D,
give,
D for Delhi.
No, give some example.
Yeah, we always provide some information regarding our email IDs, and we tell other people, ये email ID है. SURTI. So they always I have heard many times people telling T or D.
So then this is what you can practice. In fact we have one of the voice and speech techniques. We didn't cover it. I thought it may not be required, but we can do it right now. As small children in our pre-primary or KG nursery, we had learned the alphabet. Why don't we practice the alphabet as a voice exercise? You take a deep breath. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
मैं तो एसपी खत्म हो गया था.
आप थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, you will find not only A to Z, एक बार फिर A to Z
also
हो जाएगा.
Yes, I think.
Capacity to develop your voice and speech. It can start at any stage and at any age. All that it requires is your decision that I want to make it happen. So we come back to exercises for soft palate and back of the tongue.
Right.
In Hindi we have a vowel. We don't have it in English, but in Hindi we have a vowel called ang. A, E, U, O, O, and then ang. Now that is something which is long. Pronunciations are difficult. Words are not commonly used in day-to-day English, and it has to be spoken in one breath to make it all the more challenging.
So some words we don't know the pronunciation. So can you first tell us the difficult ones? Then we can speak.
I'm going to read the entire sentence.
Okay.
So, see, the best way to master any kind of pronunciation. These days we have online dictionaries also which have the word, you can hear the word.
Yeah.
The best way to do is to hear and copy the pronunciation.
Okay.
When we try to bring about corrections and modifications in the pronunciations of our participant, what we do, we copy the pronunciation of the participant. For example, people from Hindi speaking areas, they have the problem of sa and sha. If there is a word action, action, they'll say action,
Right.
production, correction.
Right.
So what I'll do is first I'll copy his pronunciation, and then I'll say it's not pronunciation, it is pronunciation. The message, when it is understood that if I am able to copy his pronunciation, he should be able to do likewise. That is the basis for improvement. In this case, the first sentence is, it's similar. He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion. Take a deep breath. He made
a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion. With a deep breath.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
This is something which each one of us should try it out. We'll start with Dheeraj.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious by meritorious companion.
See, the word is any word which is difficult. Impecunious. 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 Impecunious.
Impecunious. This means it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 syllables?
5 syllables.
Oh, I think so. U is silent.
No.
Impecunious.
Impecunious. That is the
Q. Q.
In fact, for many years, this is the pronunciation I have been offering. English always has the problem of phonetics. The problem is with the language. But we feel inadequate if our pronunciation has a particular accent. We decide today that we just focus on neutralizing our accent from this day onwards by practicing these exercises. And then we'll start feeling good about our language. If we feel good about our English, our language, our communication will also improve accordingly. Whatever psychological barriers or psychological issues we have at the back of our mind with our communication, they should be taken care of. They should be got rid of one by one. That is also the subject of this training, because when you are speaking naturally, spontaneously, you are able to communicate without any kind of difficulty. Communication at that stage becomes a joy, it becomes an art, it becomes something which comes naturally to you and you start enjoying it. A person who is in sales, who is required to deliver presentation after presentation, offering pretty much the same content, should experience this kind of joy and enthusiasm in order to improve from performance to performance. If that is true for a salesperson, it's also true for a trainer. This same content we have covered in different training programs for many years now. Some modifications we keep on making depending upon the client requirement. Basic exercises, some of them are the same. In each and every training we find that there is some different orientation which is given depending upon the requirement of the situation. So it is your ability to customize your presentation, your communication, which again, it will again come to you if your voice and speech is flowing very freely without any kind of difficulty and you are not having any kind of psychological issues at the back of your mind. Then your entire focus is that I have to do my job of communication in a perfect manner without stressing myself. The second one, there is a first sentence of
Lunch, what time is good?
any time is good, whatever time you have the lunch, because I have my little bit.
Okay.
For me, it is.
I think she already instructed, so maybe lunch will be arriving around 1 o'clock or something.
Okay, we can have the lunch at 1.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we will
Yeah, continue. Okay.
consume some more energy. ज़्यादा भूख लगेगी अच्छी
Yes,
तरह से
yes,
lunch
yes,
करेंगे.
yes, yes.